Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports. This feels amazing, Big Dog. It's game week, man. We can't do any more of these bye weeks, man, because it
Uh,
was just too many of them. Too
yeah,
many of these bye weeks.
but now we only got a couple of weeks left to go, and then we got about another 3 weeks probably off before a bowl game, at least. It might be even closer to 4 weeks probably
Yeah.
before we have a game, to play in the bowl game. So we got to take advantage of these last 2 weeks, finish the season out strong, like I know we will, and then take it to somebody in the bowl game and end up on a big positive note. And I think when we do that, I think we're going to finish the recruiting class strong, and then it's on to 2020. And I won't be able. I'll be on pins and needles for the next 9 months, waiting for the season to start.
You and me both, man. Before we get started, man, quick little roll call. We got DK in here. I saw a lot of people having a conversation. I wasn't able to look at to exactly what it was, but Anthony, DK, who else we got? Oh, it was Anthony and DK going back and forth. 247 was up. 247. Manny, Manuel, Orange and Green Blood, Cohen.
Cohen, it's all about the U, Cohen.
Yes, sir. So Orange and Green Blood in here. Jared, George, what's up, George? Hey, Kimon, McLovin the Canes, Stacy, Logan, what's good, Logan? Malik, Eddie, Dante, what's up, Dante? Kyle, how you guys doing, man?
Anthony,
Black
Metro,
Magic, C, Adam, Clavon, Demetrius. What's up?
Caniac, Chris.
You guys ready, man? It's about time, man.
Let's do the because I didn't let you do it last time about making
What?
sure, guys, if you're new to us, please subscribe. Even if you're not to us, always hit that like button, guys. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. But if you're new, subscribe and hit the notifications bell, and always leave us a comment because we always interact. I think you guys have seen that we respond, 100% of the time, usually fairly quickly. So please, Black Magic said you look like Drake Jr. He gets that all the time, man. He
I
gets
do,
that all
man.
the time. That people that call him Drake, and
Yeah,
they actually, we had a guy when we first started this podcast
yeah. I was just gonna
said
say
said we look like Drake and Santa Claus.
it's a dynamic duo, baby. What's up, Nick? What's up, Taz? Macho Man, Calvin. What's going on, fellas, man? So yeah, finally, man, we're here. Last week it's different, man. Coming off when you have a bye week, coming off the loss to Florida, you're just like, okay, it's time to regroup. Heading into UNC, it's different, man. But now it feels like the team is finally rolling, man. You come off, such an amazing offensive performance against Louisville, and it's like you got to sit on your hands again for another week.
Yeah,
And another 2 weeks, before you see the Canes in action, man. So, but yeah, it feels good finally. Yeah, some questions I got for you, big dog, because it's something. Logan says, high as hell off these 4 wisdom teeth. Oh, you got his 4 wisdom teeth
ooh,
removed, man.
that's a
Logan,
tough one, Logan.
thank you so
I
much
hope.
for the dono, man.
I thank you for the donation, brother, and I hope you feel better. I know that when I had my wisdom teeth, one of them was impacted, and man, that was bad. I actually have an old sweatshirt that I had on that I kept it because it was a family gift, and it still has the blood stains from when I fell asleep in the couch from all the all the drugs that they give you. And I actually drooled on that shirt and ended up not using it ever again. But I found it the other day in the closet. So, but I hope you feel better, Logan. I know that's a tough one.
Chipmunk Logan. I'm sure you're looking like a chipmunk because
Yeah,
I got 2 of them removed. I think like probably like a year ago, and yeah, you got all 4 at one time.
yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
tough, man. That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, oxycodone, I'm
What's
sure.
up, Ben? You Gold Wire, Sammy. What's up, Chuck Mobile,
Jared,
Redhead? Um,
thank you guys, all of you, for joining us on your Thursday night and for taking some time to spend it
yeah,
with us.
hit that like button. Hit that like button so we get these likes up and get this video shared to more people, so more people will go ahead and jump on in here, man. We're gonna talk about FIU. We're gonna talk about recruiting, and Interesting question. I wanted to paint to you, big dog, and so surprisingly, I haven't
You haven't talked about it.
Nah, I don't think I've even asked you about it.
What is it?
So some Kane fans are, in their feelings some type of way because obviously the grounds of where Marlins, Park is at right now. So there,
Those sacred grounds.
Some Canes fans are kind of like they don't even want to go to that game because it's gonna remind them, and it's gonna bring back that nostalgic feeling, and it's gonna make them feel so they're feeling a certain type of way. What is your feeling that we're gonna be playing there? Where the Orange Bowl used to be.
I do understand. I understand that. I do understand the fans that feel that way. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say feel that way to the extent of not going to the game if we were going to go. But I understand. I understand. I know it's hard for like the younger generation to even get a concept of it, but so much of our history is wrapped up in that Orange Bowl, and that Orange Bowl, the way that stadium was, that when that stadium was rocking, it literally was shaking. I mean, you could feel it in your feet that the stadium would vibrate, and all those. I mean, if you think about it, guys, people throw around a number, and sometimes they hear a number and they don't really internalize it mentally. Think about what a 58 game home winning streak means. That means for 10 years in that Orange Bowl, Miami did not lose. 58 consecutive games. That's a decade's worth of home games. Miami went unbeaten. And so a lot of those old school Canes fans like myself, man, I have some great memories of that Orange Bowl. And man, I remember going to when we beat, I think I talked about it our last show, when we beat Oklahoma 3 consecutive years, and twice was at the Orange Bowl. Once just a regular season game, and once for the national championship. That game I went with a couple of buddies that were actually Sooner fans, and man, just that it's like you walked in there as a Hurricane fan, and you knew the other team didn't stand a chance. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter if they got way up. It didn't matter if it was 3rd and 43. It didn't matter what occurred. Miami was going to win. Florida State, for the first time, I think, in their history, was ranked as a preseason number 1. Okay? Go into the Orange Bowl, and we beat them 31-0. And that was a great Florida State team. Those type of memories are all tied up. And Manny brought up a really good point. He said, that as Canes fans, we need to remember that those memories are really about people. It's about people that we shared that with, about people, those great players that made that home winning streak happen. And that's true. I mean, but a lot of the memories also are people with their fathers, who might no longer be with us, people with their kids and stuff like that. And to go back there in the same location, obviously a different stadium, but the same location, I could see how that could bring up some really strong mixed feelings about being back on there, being back on that ground. So I get that. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's tough.
Well, what do you say as a new school, as a much younger guy?
I can't attest to.
You can't relate to that.
I can't relate to those kind of feelings, man.
Right.
Yeah, I can't relate to those kind of feelings. But to me, the team, and I'm looking at it from this perspective. A stadium. I understand the memories, and I understand, the Orange Bowl was part of the Hurricanes, and it was what made the home field advantage so great. 58 games. I mean, come on. So I get that, but I don't care if they build a new stadium in West Palm.
Right.
Like my thing is the Miami Hurricanes football team.
Correct.
It's the players wearing the helmet. and I'm not gonna not go out to
Right.
because of like I'm not gonna not go support my team if I have the opportunity to do so because of things that wasn't their fault. you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The guys are gonna be playing on Saturday. It wasn't their fault. You know why things transpired the way they did. So it is what it is. But to a certain extent, I do understand. You know, some people just feel different about it, man. Some people just.
I'll tell you on a personal.
It's a very bad experience, man. When you see that Orange Bowl being torn down.
That's the thing. That's the point I was going to tell you.
You don't want to be reminded of that. You know,
to this day, I've never seen any pictures of the Orange Bowl being torn down.
Yeah, right.
To this day, because if I did, it would have made me really, really sad. It would have made me really, really sad because it was such a big part of my life. You know, the games that were there, and not even just the games that I went, which I went to quite a few, but the ones that I didn't even go to, you know, are still that memory of the Orange Bowl and seeing it rocking and seeing that sign, you know, the city of Miami welcomes you to the Orange Bowl. You know, those type of memories, man, is you know what it is? I think maybe it's more of us being reminded of memories that were really happy that, you know, like I said, might have been shared with people who are no longer with us.
Yeah.
And those type of things are tough sometimes. So I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know,
but in terms of a baseball stadium, man, hey, Marlins Park did it right. Me and Big Dog actually went
except for that ugly ass Marlin thing in the outfield.
Well, that's gone though.
No, except for that. You were talking about us going to the first game. We actually, Junior and I got to go to the first game there.
The very first game of that stadium, man, and I love it personally. To see a baseball game, I love that stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium. It really is. It really is a beautiful stadium. They did do the stadium right.
I love it, man. But you know what? You got young kids growing up and they're watching the Shrine. Yeah, the Shrine 247. I think that thing was hideous, man. But you got kids growing up, man, that, you know, a couple years ago, whatever, they saw that game against Notre Dame. You know, they were there for the Virginia Tech game. So, you know, they're creating their own memories. And
I'm sure they're going to feel the same way about the Hard Rock.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my point. That's my point. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It doesn't matter if it's you know, in the old location of the Orange Bowl, or if it's in the Hard Rock, or if it's in. It don't matter where it's at, man. We got to break the brakes off of FIU, and we got to keep this momentum going, man. Especially with recruiting, you know, heating up the way it is, and you know, we're gonna talk some about that. I think somebody from Ocala was asking about Knighton. Any news on Jaylen Knighton? Besides, I don't know if you guys know or not, but he was on for a visit with his dad, I believe.
Correct.
I'm not sure if it was both of his parents, but I think it was
from what I heard was the father. I don't know if the mother was there also, but I know for the fact the father was.
Right.
And they were on campus for a visit. Listen, I think a lot of people have Knighton going to
Ocala Kane, that's who it was that asked about it.
Yeah, let me put this in a couple, all these things tie together. So bear with me for a second, so I could tie them together and put a bow on them. In this class, okay, for you guys that know, or maybe, you know, a lot of you know, most of you probably know, but some of you don't. So let me make everybody clear about this. NCAA rules are that you can have 85 players total on a scholarship. 25 can be signed every year. Now, there is an exception where you can go above 25. The way you can go above 25 is if you have early enrollees in a class and the previous class did not go the maximum 25, that went under, right? You can assign some of those early enrollees to the previous year. So technically, we could actually have a class. We're not going to go anywhere near this number, but we could go as high as, well, if you figure we had 18 signed last year Then we had, if we have 7 early enrollees, we could go as high as 32. What I think is going to happen, and from what I can read in the tea leaves, and from what Manny has said, and piecing together of who it is that we're recruiting, what I believe Miami is going to do is that we're going to recruit 25 and then leave room above that for Justin Flo, Jaylen Knighton, Darnell Washington,
Keyshawn Green.
Keyshawn Green,
Yeah.
Brian George.
Marlon Martinez?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Martinez, if he wants to get in, he has to get in at 25. So that's what I think Manny is going to do. In fact, when Manny was asked this week, I've been saying that. You guys know I've been saying that all along. Okay. Well, when Manny was saying this week, he said at least 25. Then they pressed him. He said 26, 27, etc. We have a ton of early enrollees in this class. So we can assign those early enrollees to the previous class so we can go above. So what I think Manny is doing is focusing on signing 25 and then using that early enrollee counting towards the previous class for those high tier guys. For the flows, Washington, like I said, Knighton, Keyshawn Green, Brian George, a guy like Tennyson comes back, a guy like Avante Williams.
Don't do that to me, man.
No.
Don't get me excited with Tennyson.
Listen, right? We have surprises.
You know how I feel about Tennyson.
I agree. I know how much you like Tennyson. But the thing is, that's what I think Manny's going to do. I think he's going to go 25, and then the other ones can come along if he lands those high tier guys.
Yeah.
So does that explain to you more or less what I think the theory or the plan is in place?
Yeah, but partially, yeah. No, yeah, 100%. But I know Stunner Boy.
Yeah, that's it. That's Stunner. That was his favorite recruit from the time he committed. I think even before he committed, Junior loved tennis, and I did too. I mean, the guy, the guy's a baller. The guy's 5'9", but plays like he's 6'5", and just hits people and puts gets some slobber knockers.
I like Tennyson a lot. Yeah. What's good, Rope? What's up, Rope? Yeah, and I seen just
Clayvon saying somebody's saying that Worsham is 6'4".
No, he's 6 foot, man.
Yeah, he's 6 even. He's 6 even, a buck 85.
4'8" and yeah. Okay, so
exactly, Stunner. He plays like a bulldog.
Oh, he plays like a pit bull. Man. He does, man. 5'9", the way he hits, you're just like, there's no way that
but he's also 5'9", 195 pounds, and 196 of it is muscle.
Yeah, that's it, man. Oh my god. I want to tennis is so bad, man.
I hate to say this. I'm going to clean it up for Cohen and the kids that are watching. But back in my day, guys that hit like that, we used to say that he had a something load of bricks in his behind.
There you go. That's a very PG version you did there, big dog.
That's what we used to call it back in the day. When you had a little guy that could hit like that, we would call it. Yeah, Kyle, we were talking about Tennyson, dude, but no, he's not. I don't think he's coming to Miami. But no, that's the one we were. Yeah, 247 says about Worsham running a 4.8. I do think I've watched a lot of tape on Worsham. I do think he runs somewhat faster than that. I know he had a hip injury, but he's not a speedster. He's definitely not a speedster, and he's not going to be a speedster. So now he does have great hands. He does run great patterns. He's very polished. He's a guy who could probably help you from the first day. My reticence on Worsham was the lack of speed. Recruiting in an area like we are in Florida, man, you got fast wide receivers everywhere. I joked around. I said a joke on Wholesom's podcast when I was on with Wholesome, and I said you could go to a barbecue anywhere in Miami, and there's 3 guys that run faster than 4.8. Yep. And to an extent, with our recruiting territory, I would have rather seen a Kentron Poitier Now that doesn't mean, mind you, it doesn't mean that Worsham will, by the way, for you guys that didn't know, Worsham will commit to yeah, Sammy, Worsham does play faster than he ran. I would agree with that, but he's not a speedster, and he's not going to be a speedster. But yeah, Worsham is the one from Alabama. He goes by Daz. His first name is Dazzlin. Now that doesn't mean that we can't take Worsham and another receiver. Yeah. So that might be where Kentron Poitier comes in.
I would like to ask everybody in the chat one question, and I don't want you guys. I don't want to be misconstrued here, so don't twist my words up here. But I would like to, for some of you in the chat, and for some people that are, hey, he's a player. I'm not saying he's not a player. I think like Big Dog said, I don't know if there's anything elite about him necessarily, but I think
I'd say his hands. He can high point balls, and he does run. He is college ready.
Okay, fine, but whatever. Let me go ahead and preface this. What I'm gonna say with this: take away the fact that Worsham was an Alabama commit. Take away the fact that he has some of the offers he has, and just looking at the tape, do you guys have the same opinion of Worsham if he didn't have that Bama? Because people are looking at it as a flip from Bama, so it's like
right.
Whoa,
no, your point's valid.
He's a 4-star. If Worsham, and I guarantee you, if Worsham was committed to Miami early, he will not be a 4-star.
You're right.
That's just my that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not downing Worsham. I think, especially losing Fleming. I think that adding, Worsham is something that is good. And I think he has good hands. I think he could be a security blanket, because of his hands. He runs good. Like Big Dog said, he's polished. But I don't know, man. I'm getting this feeling like Canes fans are trying to hype him up in a way,
because we're beating out Saban.
Worsham reminds you of Reggie Wayne Ocala.
Reggie was a lot quicker than that.
He's smooth. That's what I'm saying.
He's smooth. He's smooth
with great hands.
And if you look at his tape is good. His tape is really, really good. Yeah. It's still not. It's not jump off the screen good. It's very, very solid. It's very, very good. It's high floor, low ceiling. Beautiful, Miguel.
Thank you. That's exactly
perfectly put. I don't need to say another word. That's perfectly put. Daz has a really high floor and just a low ceiling. Yeah. Chug Mobier with the donation says, "Go Canes for life. Finish the year strong." Thank you, Chug Mobier, and thank you so much for the donation, partner.
Where you at, Chug? Chug is always coming through with those donations, man. Thank you so much, Chug, man. We really do appreciate it, man. I think somebody said what happened with Fleming.
It's my understanding, guys, that one was somewhat mutual. Now, mind you, the Darren Branch loss, that was a real loss. That wasn't mutual. We wanted Darren Branch in this class. Apparently, his family was pushing for him to stay closer to home because he's from Louisiana. And apparently, a young man has a very ill grandfather who he's close to. So that's why he sort of flipped to Ole Miss. That was a real loss. The Marcus Fleming one, at first, I thought it was a real loss. And the more I looked into it, the more it seems that that was mutual. That was that maybe Manny and Mr. Fleming got together and they were told, maybe you should find someplace else for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. That Worsham could be like a KJ Osborne.
Absolutely, he's very dependable.
That's what I see from Worsham.
He's very dependable. Young man is smooth. He runs good patterns. Has great hands.
Orange and Greenblood said the same thing. He's not blazing fast, but hey, it's a good pickup. I'm not saying it's not a good pickup. I'm just saying that people are it feels like Canes fans
they're more
trying.
Excited because he was a Bama commit than they would be normally.
Right.
Correct.
But nonetheless, man, I think it's a good pickup, and I do believe already a bunch of crystal balls are in for Daz picking us tomorrow.
And he will, he is announcing his commitment tomorrow. Yeah, and I think it's pretty much he's in the boat.
Another thing, Trayvon Riggins.
This is what I wanted to tell you guys. 247 had mentioned that he goes, guys, these decommits are not real decommits. RN, from what it looks like, Fleming is talking about Nebraska and Maryland were the two programs he was talking to.
Yeah.
What it looks like to me with what's going on, and you're going to see another one. I think 247 had mentioned these decommits are not decommits. Antonio Smith is the next shoe to fall. I think they're being processed out, either for grades or for there's guys that are better fits for Miami out there. So the staff is telling them, hey, you guys, why don't you go ahead and go on and get someplace else? So Trayvon Riggins, Antonio Smith, that is what happened with Justin Hodges. So those are not decommits, guys. The only decommit that was a legit decommit recently was Darren Branch.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the reasons why the Branch family wanted him closer to home. So
OG came, man, says, Junior, how is your wife and the twins doing? They're doing good, man. Thank you so much for asking, brother. Really do appreciate that, man. But she's doing good, just getting bigger by the day, man. She got measured last week. She's 30. She's 31 weeks now, or she made 31 weeks yesterday. Last week she had an appointment when she was 30 weeks, and they measured her belly, and her belly's the size of someone who's 37 weeks. That's only having one baby. So yeah, man. It's
basically is within a month, Big Dog has to make sure he has the plane tickets ready to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're trying to schedule it for, I think, like January 11th, I believe, but I'm not sure she's gonna make it to the 11th, man. But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, thank you so much, OG, man. Appreciate that, brother. I was gonna say something on what you were saying. I forgot.
That's a good point, Clavon. I mean, yeah, but I think the Branch family has pretty deep roots down in Louisiana, so I understand. I mean, listen, we sort of forget.
Appreciate it, son of boy. Thank you, man.
We sort of forget that these young men are human beings that have lives and have families. And when you have a situation, you have somebody that's ill, you want to be a little closer than South Florida, all the way to Amity or Amite. I don't know how you pronounce that town, Louisiana, where Darren Branch is from. Yeah. So I understand, and it hurts because you guys know I know you guys know I don't care about the star systems. So, but even though he was a 3-star, I thought Darren Branch was a baller, and that was a loss that did hurt, but I understand. So it's stuff that happens. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Mark Walton.
You saw him today coming out of jail, dude.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. Him
he's
skipping
like hopping
and stuff. He was skipping like he was a kid.
Yeah, he was even like ooh, 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 like making noises of like trying to like juke the camera guy or whatnot. Yeah, something's going on. What's up, Jeremiah? Yella, you want Francois back? See, I don't know about Francois, man.
Francois is one of those guys. Yella, will we take him? Yeah, the kid's a baller. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm the staff, I'm not recruiting him. Yeah. If he wants to come back, he better hit us up, not the other way around.
Oh, I remembered what I was going to talk about since we're on the topic of recruiting. So last weekend, I believe it was, Big Dog. The Keyshawn Green stuff started to pick up quite a bit.
Right.
And the Keyshawn Green stuff started to pick up quite a bit because Baker went out to go see Keyshawn Green at his last game, I believe. Yeah. So Keyshawn Green went ahead and said that he had a great conversation with Baker and that he was going to decommit either the following day or the day after.
And he said Miami was by far the number 1. Nebraska was the number 2, but it wasn't even close.
But it wasn't even a close number 2. So I'm texting Big Dog. I'm just like, oh my God, Big Dog. You're talking about a linebacker, 4.4 speed, plays super downhill, is a hit.
And by the way, guys, he was measured and weighed and timed at the opening. So that's a laser time, 6'3", 195, and he was timed at 4.49.
Right.
Okay, legit. So that's a
So
legit 4.4 speed.
so I'm just like, oh my goodness, big dog. I mean, he's basically saying like, okay, I'm gonna decommit from FSU, and then he's gonna take his OV. I think it's a December.
And that's still planned. He's still gonna
No,
take
no,
his OV.
he still is, but you know, okay. So give you guys a background to that. Then
What do you say, Miss K?
what's up, Miss K? What's going on? Then it came out, which you're the one that read the story, Big Dog, and you let me know about it. So go ahead and break it down. And it made me feel some type of way about Keyshawn Green and our chances on landing Keyshawn Green. But go ahead.
Apparently, Keyshawn Green has a good relationship with Odell Haggins. So he said that, and the way he framed it was that he still might decommit, but that he'll keep his commitment if Odell gets the permanent job with FSU. Okay, which I don't think is going to happen. Okay, now if FSU finishes really, really strong and has a really good bowl game and stuff like that, can maybe, FSU stay with Odell as the head coach? Maybe. And then maybe Keyshawn Green does stick with the FSU commit. But for right now, that's what Keyshawn Green said. He said he's still taking his official visit to Miami. But he would only stay with FSU if Odell gets a permanent job.
Okay, now say the other part.
Of what?
Of if he were to commit to Miami,
right?
That he wouldn't sign.
Oh yeah, that part. I hated that part. Yeah, I have a. I'm gonna set up like one of those like ambulance lights and stuff in my room, and it's gonna say diva alert on it, and I can just every time that we get a dealing with a diva, I can hit the light and the siren will go off. This is what Mr. Green said. He said that even if he commits to Miami, he's not going to sign in the early signing period because he's going to wait until February anyways. And I was like, oh man, this sounds like one of those dudes that now wants attention and wants the whole process to keep playing. And I'm like, oh man. So I'm a little bit down on Keyshawn because of that. Not so much because of wanting because I understand and I think it's fairly admirable that he wants to, somebody who has a relationship with, he wants to put whatever little pressure he can to get Odell the job at FSU.
I didn't like when I saw that.
But yeah, that whole thing about, well, I'm going to commit, but I'm not going to sign early. And in fact, I'm not going to sign at all until February. And I'm like, oh man, this is one of those things. So you guys know how I feel when I start seeing stuff like that. So
what's going on, Utah K?
Yeah, Worsham. Sean's asking for the next 2 or 3 commits for the U. Worsham commits tomorrow, and I believe it will be the University of Miami.
I think Harold would probably be
Harold. I think is probably
getting after him.
Yeah, getting close to pulling the trigger. Jaylen Harold, for you guys that don't know, is a defensive back. There's 2 Jaylen Harolds, even though they spell the name differently.
Yeah.
One's a D lineman, and we sort of have talked about circling back at him.
We did.
But the Jaylen Harold that we really want is the DB. And he was an FSU commit who decommitted when Willie Taggart was fired and has already visited Miami. He's been in contact. And I believe Jaylen Harold will probably be the next one to go. So I think those are the next 2. If I go to 3, who would be that third? Wow, that's a good question. I'm going to go
with Justin Flo.
Yeah, that's what I would love. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if we're going to get any more commitments up until signing day.
A lot of people are saying Knighton. guys.
Nine, yeah. Listen, Nine.
I don't
I think what's happening with
see
Nine
it,
is
man.
his parents want him with the Hurricanes badly. I don't think he wants to be at Miami as badly as his parents want him there. I think Nine does not. You have to remember, look at his trajectory, guys. Look at the trajectory of his recruiting. Okay.
I don't think Darnell is gonna be I don't think he wants to sign early. Does he? What, Darnell Washington?
I really haven't heard. I did hear. I expect him to sign early.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I expect Darnell to sign early. The thing with Knighton is I think our running back room scares him a bit. Yeah, we got a lot of talent. Yeah, we got Chaney and Thad Franklin back to back. Not to mention we got Cam Harris. Not to mention we have Lorenzo Lingard. Not to mention that DJ might come back, although I don't think so, but it's a possibility. It's in the realm of possibility. So Nine could be thinking to himself, well, shoot, I might not see the field there for a couple of years. Macho, I don't know if Nine still has a spot available at Ohio State.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Last time I checked, they got him 55% FSU and like 5% Ohio State, and obviously 40% undecided.
Right.
So there are no crystal balls for us in Knighton. I know Restrepo was trying to do with some recruiting magic. His parents want him to come here.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to know is when Jaylen Knighton was taking a visit to Florida, his parents were at the Miami game against Louisville.
Yeah.
So that sort of tells you which way his parents want him. So
what's up, Captain Trips? Yeah, Darnell didn't. Okay. In his defense, I don't think he actually punched his high school coach. I think it wasn't a good look on his part, no matter what. I'm not trying to spin it, but I don't think he just he didn't flat out deck his high school coach. But I think there was an argument, and he was gonna kind of go. Yeah, it was a bad look.
He went after the coach.
He went after the coach, but I don't think he decked him. But still, you don't go after a coach. I mean,
right? Yeah, that's not a good
look. Tomato. You deck him, you go after him. It's the same thing, pretty much.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I could see why some schools would be worried, but man, that's a heck of an athlete, man.
Yeah, but again, I go back to the same thing. I don't think his future is at tight end. I think his future is at tackle. He'd be a much more special tackle than he would be a special tight end. So, and we'll see what ends up happening with him.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll see what ends up happening with him. So far, I think with the crystal balls for him, have him going to Georgia.
Last time I checked, Georgia and Bama were up there.
So, but if he wants to go to a tight end U, we know who tight end U is, and that's Miami.
Yeah.
And always has been and always will be. So, because we got more of them in the pipe. You saw, for those of you that don't know, Mr. Brevin Jordan made the semifinalist list for the John Mackey Award given to the best tight end in the country. And young man deserves it. Amazing, a true sophomore, tremendous team leader. I know if he hadn't gotten injured, it would have been a slam dunk. I think this injury, and stuff like that, although he is a game time decision for Saturday, that injury might have hurt him a little bit.
He didn't have nothing on during practice.
No. But Manny says he's looking better.
Big dog.
Manny says he's looking better.
You think Darnell's going to come in for an OV, the 13th?
Supposedly he's still coming.
Because he just finished visiting.
Supposedly he's still coming.
Yeah, he just finished visiting Alabama on the 8th,
Correct.
Tennessee on the 2nd. He already visited Florida. And these are all the schools in the running. Now, the crystal balls pretty much are in agreement that Georgia is the favorite.
Right.
But I don't see here. Last contact I guess we had with him was Stephen Field on September 27th. Went to go see him.
The physical contact, though. But my understanding is Field and him talk almost every day.
Physical, right? But
right.
That's what I mean.
Right. Actually, face to face.
An actual coaching visit.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So
And Field has and you remember Field is an ace recruiter.
yeah,
And Fields has a good relationship with him. So we'll see how that happens.
he has a good Van Dyke with
A good
with
relationship with Van Dyke, yeah.
well, I'm
And
gonna say
by the
a
way,
good Van Dyke relationship.
and for those of you that don't know, one of the big reasons, if you want a slam dunk to who Daz Worsham is going to commit to, all I need to tell you is Daz Worsham reached out to Tyler Van Dyke, and now they communicate back and forth by text and stuff. So that should tell you who Daz is going to. That the fact is he's already building a relationship with Tyler Van Dyke, who's a QB of the future. Yeah. So
look, Stacy says that he's not on the visit list for 13th. Maybe he visits. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, Austin, I saw that show that he put on. Tyler Van Dyke, guys, won the New England championship, went undefeated, threw 4 touchdown passes, including some ungodly throws. Utah Kane with the donation. Go ahead.
Why you gotta do that, Rico? Why you gotta do that? He said, "Oye, Pepe."
Oh,
that's a little inside joke me and Big Dog and Rico have. But hey, Utah Kane, man, with the big $5 donation, man. Thank you so much. He says, "Fellas, good question here, man. Do we even want Jayden Francois? You know, after he decommitted twice. Now, do we want him?
But Utah, it has to be all from him. If we're gonna take him in this class, he's the one that has to do the hitting up. You know, it's not us re-recruiting him. Hell no, because I'm with the whole new attitude that Manny's going to put through recruiting.
Like,
and that dude decommitted from us twice.
Like, think about it like this, Utah. The standards that Manny's trying to set forth when it comes to recruiting, going hard after Francois again is going to literally go in a 180 direction from what Manny's been preaching this whole time.
Right.
Like, hey, either you want to be a Kane or you don't.
Right.
You having doubts, then you know what? It is what it is, man. We'll move on to the next guy. Francois is a heck of a player, man. He's a recruit that I was super excited with.
12 interceptions his junior season.
Come on, man. I mean, he's a player, so I'm not gonna just because the guy decommitted twice. I'm not gonna say,
right.
I'm not gonna be Bama and be like, oh, Worsham is a get, and then now he might go to Miami. Oh, Worsham is a scrub. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's a player, but frankly, just going like Big Dog said, man, it has to, like, Francois basically has to come begging to the University of Miami to go ahead and let him in this class, and that's the only way I would like to take him, because you're going back on your message that you've been preaching to the media, and you're preaching to the players, you're preaching to future players, possible recruits on, hey man, either you're a Kane or you're not. You know, you're with us or you're against us.
Exactly.
Well, if you keep on fishing for Francois after he dissed you not one time but 2 times, then what kind of message is that gonna send for us moving forward when it comes to recruiting? I mean, it's not, you know.
If I take Francois, it has to be all on his part, because I'm not going to see him. I'm not going to see him. So,
man.
And by the way, Stacy was mentioning about Justin Flo with the hurricane gloves on, and Manny was at that game. And Manny was there at that game.
I don't know. I don't know if he made it though, Big Dog, because his flight did get delayed.
Who's
Manny's flight out to
Cali got delayed?
Cali got delayed.
Okay.
So I don't know if he got there on time.
I do think because he did get there on time, because he even had time to stop by at Narbonne and visit Jake Garcia.
Jake Garcia, right.
So I do think he made it. Also, I wanted to finish the I feel like Michael Redding is super. Oh, absolutely. Also, I agree with that. Michael Redding is a baller, man. And people are forgetting how good Michael Redding is going to be. Yeah. And you want to talk about a guy that's college ready? He's what, 6'1", 195? Put together with a 4.4 speed. That young, a 4.5 speed, he'll probably be 4.4 when he's here. But I was saying about Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler looked really good. Completed 64% of his passes this season. They don't throw a bunch, so he's not going to have, and they only played 9 games, so he's not going to have those 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. But he had a really good season, completed 64% of his passes. Listen, Van Dyke's the real deal. Van Dyke's the real deal. Somebody was asking about Matocha. From my understanding, Matocha's coming along really, really well. I think we're going to be set at QB for quite a long time. And I'll tell you what, yeah, Macho, he is that thick. I mean, I wouldn't compare him to Andre. Andre was taller, and obviously is a legend. But yeah, Redding is that thick. Absolutely, he's that thick.
Austin saying Hazelwood State wearing Miami gloves. I believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. And I'm not saying guys to get like, oh, he's coming to Miami. He's throwing up to you with no.
Hey, but listen, at the end of the day, even if he doesn't come to Miami, the fact that he's repping to you like that does nothing but help us in California and across the country.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then
making his Final Four that Bama didn't make his Final Four. But that helps us.
I know 247. You're not gonna like this because you don't want to even talk about Flo no more because you're sold that he's going to Bama. I'm not sold 100% to be honest. And people are saying that he's wearing the gloves because Miami gave them to him and whatever. This and like he had an official visit with Georgia before Miami. I don't want you guys to think that Miami was first on the list. He had his OV with Georgia before Miami. He wasn't throwing up anything, or you didn't have any Georgia gloves up. Okay, so he he visited Clemson, obviously after us, and then he's planning on visiting Oregon. But I mean, hey, the fact that he's showing us love back, Rohan is apparently doing a heck of a. He's trying to at least reel him in and whatnot.
Yeah, but I like us to get DJ Williams on that. I really do. Out of all the former, listen, that's a linebacker from Cali that was a big shot linebacker coming out of and I think he was the first linebacker in his class too. And had a great career in Miami.
That's where I'm at, Hurricane Harden. I've said from the get-go,
Clemson or Miami.
I think it's Clemson or Miami. Yeah. I give the edge to Clemson in my opinion. In my opinion, my objective, unbiased opinion, I think he might be.
If you put a gun to my head and tell me that I have to pick one, I'd have to pick Clemson.
I'll pick Clemson.
Yeah, I'd have to pick Clemson at this point. Now, but I don't think it's Clemson at 99% and us at 1. I think it's a lot closer to 60-40. Than the numbers would indicate. So I'll say that.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll go. I don't know. I'm not gonna go. Those are the two schools. I think he's eyeing.
Yeah, I think it'll be one or the other. So the thing. Listen, in terms of recruiting, what I think we have done is I think we've done a really, really good job. Brandon mentions Malachi Weidman. He's another FSU commit who's been shopping. Brandon, it's my understanding that feelers were out on Malachi's side towards Miami, and Miami told them that he wouldn't be a take right now. So that's my understanding on Weidman. That I think at wide receiver, I think we're looking at Worsham, Restrepo, and obviously Michael Redding. I think there's a good possibility we take a fourth, but I don't know how much of an issue, how pressing it is because of the UCLA transfer that I think we're likely to get. Theo Howard.
Oh, you're talking about wide receivers?
Yeah.
I didn't catch what you said about the last thing you said. Oh, you're talking about Weidman. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We're talking about About Weidman is my understanding. Yeah, he is tall. There is another wide receiver, Lacey. What's Lacey's first name? I think it's Kyle. If you can look it up for me, Junior. I like him because he's Lacey is tall. But he's one of those guys that was a late bloomer type of guy, where there wasn't a lot of activity his way, but he's really come on. And he has that height. And he does have athleticism too. So, I think there's some better options out there that I don't think Miami. Remember, Miami saw Weidman play, scouted him, and didn't offer. So that tells you something, Brandon. The fact that they didn't offer, even though we did scout him, that sort of tells me that he's pretty low on their board. Caron. There we go. Thank you. I knew it was a case, Saeed. Yeah, he's because read Lacey's measurables if you haven't pulled up, Junior.
Oh, what happened here? What did I do here?
But he's also that type of tall. Yeah, Poitier is definitely would be the one I would put top of that list because I want height. I want our last guy to be tall. So Poitier is the one I probably like, but Lacey would fit that bill also. Orange, if Miami wins out, we have a better chance of flow. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, Orange and Green Blood. Emilien, yeah, Douglas Emilien. That's a guy who I think is leading our way. That could be that fourth receiver that we take right there. And I think we have him well above Weidman on our board.
All right.
Yeah, height. Yeah, Austin says about height. Height looks like he's definitely ours.
18 sacks, man.
Yeah.
Set the record at the school.
That's a man beast playing there in Georgia.
Yeah. 18 sacks, man.
Clavon, yeah, Leonard, Manuel, and Miami. I think those two shall never meet.
Wait, what is it?
I'm talking about Leonard Manuel. He was a guy that was committed to us way back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Yella. More, you see, and this is why it bothers me a little bit when it comes to Jalen Harrell.
Dan K was asking if you got his $10 donation. Thank you, Dan, so much, partner.
Oh, I did it. Hold on, man. Yeah, you guys gotta tell me if you guys are gonna donate to
through the PayPal.
Yeah, through the PayPal that's there on the screen. Let me check, Dan. I think I did, man, because I have my phone on silent. So you guys gotta let me know. Yes, I did.
Yep, Macho Man Height's a DN. But he's gonna play that Viper role, so he's somewhat of a hybrid. But he's definitely, he's 6'4". He's a legit 6'4".
Yeah. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for the $10 donation, man. He says, "Hey, man, are we gonna discuss FIU?
Yes.
Or what?
Yeah,
let's start talking about FIU. He says they have the 13th ranked pass defense. FIU.
I'm not exactly worried about. I actually have
Thanks again, Dan.
Their numbers here. They do a good job, and the opponents have only completed 56% of their passes against FIU for only 180 yards a game. So they can't pass defense. They do have a couple of DBs. In fact, let me go down a couple of guys that I do want you to know on FIU, and we'll go down to their stats also. They got Dorian Hall, who guys that are familiar with South Florida. Listen, that's one of the things that you're going to get, guys, when we play a team like FIU. You're going to have those South Florida guys that they all played together or against each other growing up from Pop Warner all the way up. And there's going to be talent. There's going to be talent at the skill positions because there's so much speed in Florida, especially South Florida. They have a couple of DBs that I think, in fact, I've actually had write-ups about. Stanley, Thomas Oliver III, and Dorian Hall. They can cover. They have some size. Hall is like 6'4", slender 6'4", and he plays safety. They have guys that can play ball. They have guys that can play ball, and I'll tell you, their quarterback James Morgan, solid guy. Let me go over the stats. Judy, do you have them pulled up? You want me to do them?
Go ahead, big dog.
All right. James Morgan has 148 completions in 252 attempts, 1,852 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Decent quarterback rating of 132.0. A couple of running backs really of note, Anthony Jones and Napoleon Maxwell. Buddy Woodward, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation.
He says, I really appreciate the recruiting knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Anthony Jones and Napoleon Maxwell. Maxwell actually averages more yards per carry at 5.4, a little bit more of a home run threat than Jones. Both of those guys are solid running backs. They even have a couple of guys with well over 200 yards in Kalen Wiggins and Devontae Price. So they can run the ball, guys, and they have some speed there. Receiving wise, really the receivers to note, Shamar Thornton, which is one of the ones I think also most South Florida football fans will know who that is. That's a guy. I mean, he's not very big. He's like 5'11", 182. But he leads on targets. FIU has actually targeted him 67 times on the year. He has 39 catches for 490 yards and 4 touchdowns. Not all dynamic of a threat, but they do throw, and they throw deep. So if you guys remember, we had them dominated in the fourth up until the fourth quarter last year, and then they scored late against us. So basically, that's the guys to know. Couple of decent defenders. You know, they're going to be a good test of how we come out of the bye week. And obviously, I want to see us come out. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's one of the things, guys, when we talked about, you guys remember early in the season, what did I keep preaching? It was, guys, our offense is struggling because our offensive line is struggling. Well, now our offensive line is playing better. Ta-da! Our offense is doing well. Now, that doesn't mean that there wasn't a lot of growth with Jaron Williams. There was. Our offensive line, the run blocking has been a little spotty. They've improved greatly on their pass blocking. But our run blocking in the last game also looked better. I think John Campbell being in the rotation there at left guard, I think has helped push Nevada Donaldson. And I think that's been a good improvement. I think the offensive line is definitely coming together. So that's what. Now the keys to the game, I think, are going to be. I hate to say this again, but preaching the run game. I want us to be able to run the ball down their throat. We have to start establishing that as an offensive line, especially when you're playing a group of 5 school like FIU. You need to be able to run the ball down their throats. And that's obviously going to open up the passing game, going to open the play action passing game. And I expect Jaren to continue on his trend of how well he's playing. And I expect the receivers also to continue on their trend. But I think offensively, I want us to be able to run the ball. And defensively, we have to put them behind the chains, get their TFLs. I think if we put them behind the chains, they are going to be in trouble. David, Weidman's committed to FSU. Yeah, it's Aberdeen. Absolutely. I want to see us dominating the trenches on both sides.
Yeah, Dan, our running game is less spectacular because, frankly, you know, we've seen improvements on the offensive line, and we saw it against Louisville. When you're able to run the football, you're able to.
But we haven't seen it consistently with the run.
That's the thing. That's the thing. But also Louisville's defense was very, very suspect when it comes to that. So we got to keep on seeing improvements from this offensive line, man. And frankly, considering the athletes that we have at running back, you need to be able to run the football. You need to be able to run the football, man. You got DJ, and then next year, you know, you're still talking about Harris. You're talking about Chaney. If Lingard stays, you know, you're talking about Lingard, maybe possibly Jaylen Knighton. I mean, who knows? But that's another thing you got to think about, man. When you're having trouble running the football and you're not getting those, you know, crazy numbers that, you know, high star recruits or elite talented recruits in the running back position, they want to see that success in the running game, because if not, then what's the point of coming? You know, you're not going to be able to exploit your talents, you know, to the best of your abilities. So you got to be able to run the football, man. That's going to open up the play action that we were hating on early on in the year, because frankly there was no reason to respect the run when it came to our football team. So that play action wasn't doing much to the linebackers. But yeah, if you run the football, man, your playbook just opens up. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, and it becomes easier on the offensive line, you know, as well. You know, so it's beneficial to all parties involved on the offensive side of the football. So we got to do it, man.
Post Dante's comment there. Dante, I agree. I do want to see more variety in the run plays. Brett, I got Rousseau down for 3. I got Rousseau down for 3 sacks because they do like throwing the ball deep. And
Dante,
they're not gonna be able to keep Brett. They're not gonna be able to keep Rousseau out of there.
He's a threat in this game, assertive, and I agree with that to a certain extent, though, because we were seeing a lot of, trying to run to the outside, man,
and it hasn't been working a lot,
and it hasn't been working either. So in his defense, man, I think it has a lot more to do with the offensive line.
I do see what he means in terms of not just where we're going, but some trap plays here and there, because that's some of the ways you stop that penetration. Is a trap here, an outside zone there, an inside zone here, a draw there. Saying just to have the defense guessing of do some of the eye candy that Louisville does. If I'm running a sweep to the right, run a jet sweep action to the left. Have a couple of the offensive linemen going with that jet sweep action to draw that the defense that way.
Yeah, I guess.
So that type of commitment to running it in a lot of different ways to make it look a lot of different things. Why does Louisville run the ball well?
Well, because it gives you a million different looks. Yeah, no, I get it.
That's why I think. I mean, that's a valid take for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Really, what about Georgia? I don't know what.
No apologies, Logan. You feel better, buddy.
Injuries. I'm worried about injuries. Don't be worried, man. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually been pretty lucky this season. the preseason was god awful with injuries. I mean, we find out about DeAndre Wilder being done for his career. Just when Jennings is actually going to get some decent playing time, he goes down. Wayne Misteed's knee goes down. So we've had some serious. Patrick Joyner got banged up, but season we've actually been pretty healthy throughout.
Yeah, he does run to the short side of the field too much. That I agree with that. He has no misdirection in the run game.
That's the type of thing I want to see a little bit more of.
I don't know, man. I just think you're handcuffed sometimes as a head coach when you just have very poor.
Yeah, McLovin, no issues with Jeff Thomas. I saw that you had asked about him, and with Jeff, unfortunately, it's the less we hear about him, the better it is. So, but no issues with Jeff. He's doing fine as far as I know. There's no concerns.
Dreadlock, I gave up on that already, man. The fullbacks, and the running game. That's it. That's something I would like to see. To Dante's point, start implementing, different schemes and different ways to run the football. And I think using the fullback, that's something I've always stood behind very early on, even before the season started, man. I was like, we gotta be able to get a tough, 2 or 3 yards, man.
Right.
And, I think putting a fullback in the game or even putting in Brevin, as like anybody, but my problem has become on these short yardage situations. I don't know, man. You're not even putting anybody in front of a DJ or in front of Harris. What play was it specifically?
Why, dude? You know who should be running the ball in short yardage? You know who should be running the ball in short yardage?
British George,
Robert Burns. And what they were saying, what Macho Man was saying, that Rielis George, people forget, Rielis George was either the number 1 or number 2 fullback in the country, depending on how you listen to the year he came out.
Yeah.
Okay, and mind you, I understand Larry Hodges, and that's fine if you want to put Larry Hodges in front of Burns, but on 3rd and 1, I want to see Burns carrying the ball.
Yeah. George is not talented. I don't know about that, man. I'll tell you what. A lot of people thought Gray wasn't talented until he ran a 4.3 in the combine,
and he's getting a look in the NFL. So
but
I want to see I want to see Burns carry that football, man, on short yardage situations. You got a guy who's 5'11". I know they have him listed at 219 or 220, which is BS. He's like I said, he's a biscuit away from 230. And the dude's chiseled.
Yeah,
and give him the football, man. And he's a north-south runner.
Yeah.
Give them the football on 3rd and 1s.
I really don't like doing a lot of passing. You could reach only pass the ball.
Buddy
30
with the
time.
donation. Thank you, buddy. He said Manny offered him a full ride to play Waterboy.
That's funny. I got the same offer, buddy. No, hey, if there's anything we should be able to do with this game, is definitely run the football. So I think, but I would like to see. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Dante. That like Burns and George get short yards for us easily. We haven't seen it one time on critical short yardage situations.
Yeah.
Not once, man.
And then that goes back
at least
again.
last year, that fullback dive was working.
Correct. That goes back to a legit criticism.
That's crazy.
That
to me,
I
man.
think as coaches, especially coordinators, actually applies to head coach also, but coordinators, you look at your roster. Mm-hmm. These are the players that I have. Okay. I have to know the strengths and weaknesses of each of those players and make sure that I utilize the skill set that they have and put them in the best positions to succeed. So when I looked at our roster and I saw Robert Burns, okay, short yardage guy, because obviously we got DJ and Cam ahead of him on the depth chart, but Burns could be our short yardage guy. We haven't seen that. No, we haven't seen that once. So those are the things, man, that I get really. You're not utilizing your roster to its maximum ability, and that's what I want to see. So
Miami win. Eddie says 63-14. Miami blows out FIU. Taberty won, so Miami wins 70-zip. Brett has 52-10. He does not use all his players. Yeah, Chuck Beer. That was that was a big criticism of Enos, and I still now. It's kind of crazy how when things are getting better in terms of the protection from the offensive line, and improvements from Jaren, which in my opinion constitute, it was based on his health, and he did, learn some things along the way and whatnot. So I'm not saying that
improvement in the offensive line,
but I mean, I just think, I don't know. I feel the same way, Chuck Beer, is what I'm trying to say to a certain extent about Enos. But I kept on saying it, man. And I kept on saying that you gotta give this team time. You gotta give this team more reps, more games to come together. And it was hard to judge Enos based on how, listen, guys, bad offensive line play makes everybody look bad. Makes everybody look bad. Makes the quarterback look bad. It makes play calling look bad. I understand there's ways you could scheme around it to make it better, but then, it seemed like Enos would do okay up until the red zone, and then he will start to get to your point, Dante. He would be very versatile when it would come to the red zone for some reason, and reverses and fades and whatever. But I feel better about Enos, being that now we're going to be able to, because look, guys, hey, that game against Louisville, we saw the offense without a Brevin Jordan, mind you. We saw an offense that we were basically promised to see, and an offense that we thought we were going to see much earlier than Louisville. But I mean, we got to see it nonetheless. Why? The only sack given up was a sack on Jaren for holding the ball too long against Louisville. No sacks given up against Louisville. 2 sacks given up against Pitt. 2 sacks given up against FSU. So, and our offense has looked best when our offensive line has looked the best. Correct. So it's a complete correlation between the two, man. So I think we're gonna start to see a much better offense moving forward, considering that the offensive line is really coming along.
And somebody made a point earlier that they said, I'm sorry, I can't give you credit, I don't remember who it was, but somebody made a point earlier that all the growing pains that we had this year in the offensive line are going to help us in the future, because that'll end up being a point of strength for our offense, right, because of the experience that they've gotten.
Right.
Well, go ahead with Hurricane Logan.
Yeah, another donation from Logan, man. He said he fell asleep, so he came back. A biscuit sounds good, but I can't eat that.
Yeah, Thomas had mentioned about us not knowing Robert Burns' skill set. Thomas, number one is everybody should know Robert Burns' skill set because he was as well known in South Florida as any young running back was. But on top of that, we have seen him in games running, little mop-up duty running north and south. And one of the things that Manny talked about even in the fall camp is that the defense notices whenever 22 has the ball because nobody wants to tackle him.
Yeah.
So everybody knows Thomas Robert Burns' skill set, or they should.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and they were asking about seeing Bandy at striker. I want somebody bigger than Bandy.
Yeah, Bandy. Yeah, you need somebody. That's why I could see G3 Gilbert Frierson being the striker. But
Aaron Branch, that's what we wanted him for,
right,
was as a striker, and he's a legit 6'2". I mean, I think they have him listed as 6'1".
But big dog.
But you want to see somebody bigger than Bandy as striker.
Right. But let's just say we get Flo, man. Let's just say we get Green. You still wanna go heavy with a striker?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Is I don't know next year with what I think we'll have at linebacker. We might go back to a 4-3.
Right.
Because you have to remember, Miami always had linebackers that could run with receivers.
But do you think that's wise considering offenses, how everybody has gone to the spread pretty much?
Avery Huff and Keyshawn Green could stay with running backs and could stay with slot guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
247, man. Stop it.
Yella.
Stop it.
Is a possibility.
247 is not.
We're not getting Flo.
He's like, it's no way. It's Bama. It's Bama. I don't know. 247. We'll see, man. I think it's between Miami and Clemson. I'm still holding true to that.
I would agree with you with Poitier. I wouldn't call him a must get, but Parrish, man, that's that. I addressed this before with a comment, Saeed. There are guys that are some of the greatest high school players ever don't translate to the next level. Just like some of the greatest college players ever don't translate necessarily to the next level. Parrish, I love the way Parrish plays. I've seen a ton of tape of Parrish, but at the end of the day, he is not, the talent level is not at the point that he is a Miami running back. Now, if we had a need at that position and that was who we could get, that's a different story. But the people we have, our number one recruit in this class is Don Chaney. We still have Harris, we still have Lingard, assuming that he stays, which from what I can tell, reading the tea leaves, the staff believes that he's going to be back.
Who's this? I'm sorry.
Is Lingard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because if not, they would have gone out stronger for a second running back. Because as it is right now, from what I can see, Saeed, it's either pairing up Knighton with Chaney or we're good with just Chaney. We're not pursuing any other running backs. Saeed, oh my God, no, Saeed. Not even close.
Saeed, that's wilding right there, man. Saeed, that's wilding.
Saeed, Parrish is 170 pounds soaking wet, and he's not fast.
Saeed, that's wilding.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
You could like him more than Chaney, but you think he's better than Chaney?
He had a better high school career than Chaney. You can say that because he also plays with a much better team.
I'll tell you what, I do like Parrish, man. Don't get me wrong. I do like Parrish, but I think Don Chaney has special elite kind of talent.
They're not even in the same category, man. Yeah. You look at a guy like Chaney is the type of guy that plays at a school for 3 years, goes to NFL.
He says he thinks he could be better.
Not even close, man. Not even close.
Yeah, I don't think
Henry
so. But
Parrish is 170 pounds.
Yeah.
And he's about 0.2 of a second slower than Don Chaney, who's about 210 right now.
Yeah, but I think
Guys,
maybe to Saeed's point is that some players,
let me ask
when
you
they
a
put the
question.
helmet on, they just perform better on the
No.
field, man.
Yes, and some players just don't translate to the next level. That
I'm trying.
happens
Hey,
all the time.
Saeed,
Right now
Cam
in the
Harris.
entire history of college football. Who's the only player in history to ever win more than one Heisman? Come on. There you go. That's for Junior and for the chat. The only Lingard's been hurt. We haven't even seen Lingard. First off, Cam Harris wasn't an afterthought.
Was not an afterthought to me
He was
or
the number 8 running back in the country was Cam Harris.
Yeah,
and Lingard's been hurt. Exactly, Thomas Miles. It's Archie Griffin. Was the only guy ever won more than one Heisman Trophy. What type of a career did he have in the NFL? He was a starter for a couple years with the Bengals, indistinguished. No, Archie Griffin is from Ohio State. But that's the thing is we talked about this the other show. You can make a case that Tate Martell was the great. No, Griffin didn't get injured. Brett Griffin got plenty of playing time in the NFL. He had, plenty of time. He stayed in the NFL for probably 4 or 5 years with the Bengals and was never anything outstanding. Never had a 1,000-yard season even, or even close to really a 1,000-yard season. But the thing is, you can make a case that Tate Martell is the greatest quarterback in high school football history. 43-0. 113 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 3 national championships. So you can make a case.
Was it wholesome?
He doesn't have a chance at a career in college, in major college football, really, as a quarterback. He's our 3rd string quarterback now. He didn't get the Ohio State job. And that's not a knock on Tate Martell. Okay, he was a great high school player. But there's just some guys that when you move up a level, that doesn't always translate. So
Austin, I didn't want to, and prayers to Tua, man. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't want Tua before he got hurt with the hip.
Correct.
Frankly, me and the big dog were just like, no.
And I hate to say this, Austin, but we did say in our prior show before this injury, he's brittle. That's the reason why I wouldn't take Tua, and that was before the hip injury.
It's not as bad as like the Bo Jackson injury because Bo got he got hurt, but Bo kind of kept on playing on it, so it made it worse and worse and worse. So I know some people were trying to make a correlation between Bo Jackson's career-ending injury and Tua having
again, that was 30 years ago. You know how much different medicine is nowadays,
right? But I will tell you will tell you this much though: if I'm Tua. Whew, I might consider coming back to Bama.
Mike, I might call Lingard. If I'm Tua,
if I'm Tua, I might consider coming back for one more year. Because who's gonna take? Okay,
yeah, you're right, yo. You're right.
You'll go in the first round next year, assuming you make a
late in the first round.
But you're still a first rounder, big
dog. Right.
When you head into the draft now, when is somebody going to take Tua?
I don't know if he can play next year. This hip surgery is a major surgery, dude.
But that's my point, big dog. My point is, if you declare for the NFL draft, who's going to draft you in the first few rounds?
That's what people were saying is somebody can draft him and stash him on IR.
But you're not going to waste a first round pick or
for a guy that you believe could be a future.
Not for Tua.
Dude, they listen.
I don't see that though.
He's number one lifetime in QB rating.
Big dog, you tell. Okay, but look, this is my point. I'm trying to make.
He's brittle as hell. Listen, I don't want to draft him. I wouldn't draft him.
But that goes to my point. If you tell me, Burrows or Trevor Lawrence next year,
correct. He's not going anywhere near number one.
If they have, I know, big dog, but I'm saying
so we did the right thing and not.
Let me finish, man.
That's you're not.
Oh my God! Let me hold on. Listen to me. My point is that as an NFL team, okay, you would take a risk on a quarterback like that has a major injury if he didn't have any previous injury issues.
Okay. He has
My point,
injury issues.
and that's why, as an NFL team, you're not going to take a first-round pick on a quarterback that not only is coming off a major surgery, but has had.
Why I was interrupting you, because Drew Brees, the Dolphins didn't take Drew Brees. How did that work out for the Dolphins?
Okay, first of all,
and they could take
the Dolphins. The Dolphins didn't take Drew Brees. They took Culpepper over Drew Brees because Culpepper was a knee and Brees was a shoulder.
Correct.
So they made the smart move, regardless of how it turned out.
At the time, correct.
Regardless of how it turned out, they made the right move.
Now, Brees' stock, people forget this. When Brees was playing for the Chargers, his stock wasn't anywhere near like it is first ballot Hall of Famer. He was thought to be a decent QB, a good QB, but not a great one.
Right.
And then
100%.
He went to the Saints and then became an all-time great QB. My point with the Tua thing is this, and that's why I was interrupting you, is I understand what you were saying, but if an NFL team believes that Tua could be the franchise QB, why would they not take him late in the first round and sit him on IR for a year, learning, and then see if they can get lucky and he stays healthy?
Because this man is getting hurt over and over and over again, and he's coming off a major. We're not talking about Trevor Lawrence having one injury.
I agree. But here's what the thing is. As of right now, how many quarterbacks, how many NFL teams can you say that they say we're good with the QB that we have?
How many teams can say that? I don't know, probably 25, maybe.
What? You think it's anywhere near that high?
20.
Maybe 15.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. You have teams that are grooming their quarterbacks of the future.
Correct. But they don't know. That's not my point. I said, how many teams have their franchise quarterback that they know that's the guy?
Oh, that they know for sure?
Correct.
Oh, no, it's probably less than 15, big dog.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, I thought you were saying teams that are willing.
No. Teams that believe that they have a franchise quarterback already, that they know that that's their guy.
Oh, yeah. 15 will be a lot.
Okay. That there's 32 teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think a NFL team will take a chance on a guy that they believe is the number one pick skill-wise, but who is brittle?
Whew.
That's my point. Detroit Lions, you remember when Matthew Stafford came into the league, how he kept getting injured? And the Lions stayed with him, and then he went like 9 years without missing a game.
Yeah, no, for sure. And he hasn't taken the Lions anywhere, but for sure.
Correct. So that's the thing that I see with Tua, is that somebody will take a chance on him just because they'll get him. They'll get in their mind, a number one guy for the number 27th pick, or for the number 30 pick, or for the number 24 pick. And he has number one talent.
I just don't see it as a first rounder.
I wouldn't take Tua. I would not draft Tua at all.
Okay, that's okay. But that's my point. I'm giving you my opinion on if I was a GM of an NFL team.
Correct. But at the end of the day, there's so many teams that are desperate for a franchise QB that they'll absolutely take a chance on Tua.
That's fine. You know what? Give me Jake Fromm with the 20th pick in the first round. I'll do that.
I agree.
I'll do that instead of taking Tua in the first round.
I would not draft him. I don't want a guy that brittle that I can't count on. So what good does it do me, even if he develops and throws 30 touchdown passes in the first 10 games of the season, and come playoff time, he's out with his ankle again?
Okay, so yeah, Reggie, I would probably take Tua with a second round pick if I had multiple second round picks.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Somebody's going to take him late in the first round.
You think he should go to the league?
I think he's going to. I think he's going to.
You think that's the right move though?
He's gonna rehab regardless. Why not get paid? Why not get paid to rehab instead of doing it for free?
All right. Yeah, HJS Canes, Gerald Williams was promoted from the practice squad, and we got Adrian Colbert as well. So Two Canes added to the 53-man roster for the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, Trent Dilfer said Tua is the best QB. He coached at the Elite 11. I'm not.
He's talented, Saeed, but the problem is
he's not. Yeah. I'm not saying he's not.
Now, mind you, if I got a top 10 pick, I'm not wasting it on Tua.
No,
I'm not wasting it on Tua. Because I'm sorry, you getting hurt constantly in the NFL at Alabama with a great offensive line. What's going to happen when you go to the NFL and the guys hit a lot harder, and you're probably going to go to a bad team that doesn't have a good offensive line. Yeah, Brett, it's just sad.
No, it sucks. Do you okay? And this is an interesting question. I'm gonna pose to you, big dog. Nick Saban. Do you think the heat on Nick Saban for keeping Tua in the game is
okay?
valid?
The heat to me is deserved, but not for the reason that people are giving him the heat.
What's up?
Okay, people are giving him the heat because why do you have him in to run the 2-minute offense when you're already up 35-7? I think people are saying that are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I do think that there is legit criticism to Nick Saban because at the stage that they are in now, playing against Mississippi State, why would you play Tua at all when he's coming off his second ankle surgery?
Oh, he played in the game against LSU, big dog.
And he was what, at 70%?
Okay. But my point is, if you're healthy enough to play for LSU, you gotta be healthy enough to play for against Mississippi State.
Well, that's my point. Is you could make a case that they needed him for LSU, which they lost anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just told me they can't beat Mississippi State with the number 2 guy.
No, yeah, they should be able to for sure.
I think the criticism is fair from the standpoint of he maybe should not have been played at all until he was healthy. And at the very least, the Mississippi State game. But the idea of like, oh, you should have pulled them in the game, that's just, revisionist history. That's just 2020 hindsight. I mean, I'm sure he didn't say, well, he might get hurt. No, I mean, you let him play the first half, and if you're going to pull him, you pull him to start the third quarter. So the blame for that, no. But I don't necessarily think that he was as healthy as Nick Saban is saying he was. And for that, I would fault him.
Okay.
Because you are playing with a young man's future.
See, that was my takeaway from this. People were saying, "Oh, you're up 35-7, and you still have him in the game."
You got to run your
that's something I didn't understand. I was kind of like, but the fact that maybe he shouldn't have been playing, I could understand that.
Right.
But he shouldn't have played at all. Right. That I think there's some substance to that criticism,
right.
That criticism against Nick Saban. But now, just because you're up big,
correct,
against
in the second quarter, you're still in the second quarter
of the game. No. You're not in the fourth quarter of the game. So
now, to be fair, to play devil's advocate and play the other side of that is Nick Saban and the doctors at Alabama and Tua himself know much better his condition than I do.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I only know from what I saw, he wasn't 100%. And as somebody who has a history of leg injuries, I can tell you whenever you have anything hurting your leg, you are much more prone to hurt more seriously something else.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it with Kevin Durant and the Achilles tendon. We've seen that before time and time again. A guy has a tweaked ankle, boom, he ends up, blowing out his knee. He has a muscle pull on his quadricep, he ends up tearing a hamstring. Mm-hmm. Once you have a leg injury anywhere on your leg, you're much more prone to because what happens is you're compensating and you're putting much more stress on parts of your body, on parts of your legs that are not used to carrying that stress. Now, because you looked at the hit where Tua got hurt, It wasn't very big of a hit. And people saying, oh, well, I can see how it was like the Bo Jackson hit. No, if you remember, Bo was running full speed and the DB grabbed him by the ankles. And Bo literally almost pulled his legs out of the DB's grasp. Tua was brought down from behind like a QB is brought down, 100 times that we see that on a Saturday? It was a very innocuous hit. It wasn't at all any big deal of a hit.
Right.
So,
yeah. Only 55 likes. Let's go, man. Hit that like button, baby. If you're in. Hey, guys.
Up to 80.
Oh, okay, I don't know. Hey, if you guys are new here, man, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to Julian the Big Dog, man. Hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime me and the Big Dog do upload a video. With the impending commitment.
Thank you, Anthony, and you have a great night.
Have a good night, Anthony. With the impending commitment that we are expecting from Daz Worsham tomorrow, we are indeed, once he does officially put it out there that he's going to commit to the Hurricanes. If he does indeed commit to the Hurricanes, we are going to do a player breakdown like we always do anytime there's a new commit to the class. So be on the lookout for that, guys. We're going to have footage from Worsham in Alabama, whatnot, in high school, and breaking down his measurables, breaking down his stats, breaking down what he could bring to the table. So we haven't done that yet because it's still not official. Everything seems to be pointing in that direction, man. So,
he just tweeted out a hurricane flag or a hurricane warning.
So we will be indeed making a video on Daz Worsham. Yeah. So perfect. He just tweeted a commit flag. So indeed, my friends, what if he's putting a fast one on us, Big Dog?
Who's that, Manny?
Yeah.
Manny was
what if everybody thinks it's gonna be Daz?
And it's Justin Flo.
And it's Justin Flo.
Listen, I take that trade.
So yeah, man. Hey, so be on the lookout for that, man. If he does indeed commit tomorrow, we're gonna do a player breakdown video of Daz Worsham, man. If you guys are watching us on Facebook, check us out on YouTube. Watching us on YouTube, check us out on Facebook. And yeah, man, hit that like button. We're not going anywhere, but putting that plug in there just in case we got any new faces in the chat. I think I saw a couple earlier, so so yeah, you already know, man.
Absolutely. What do you say, Wholesome? I'm sorry, I don't think I said good evening to you, Primo.
Wholesome says that if we want to talk about addressing some of these recruiting rumors, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what rumors he was referring to. What rumors are you talking about? Wholesome. I don't know if he's still in here, but so yeah, so Manny just so that's pretty much saying.
Dan, I think it's the same like Wildcat type plays is part of that tape package, or maybe a wide receiver pass or something like that.
Yeah. Parrish, Flo, and Worsham. Yeah, we already. Yeah, we already we started talking about a little bit about Flo, Worsham. I think
we talked about Worsham quite a bit, and in Parrish we talked about Parrish a little bit.
Yeah.
Also.
Hey, Uncle Joe, man, look, check this out. We always keep it cool here in the chat, man. If you got anything, against Wholesome, man, we prefer for you not to say nothing like that in the chat, man. We're all family here. Wholesome is family, man. So you know what I'm saying. If you got anything against Urso,
man, you too, Uncle Joe. We want the dealings to be with respect in the chat.
Yeah, Junior, at least I'm proud of it. We haven't blocked anybody from this channel yet, man, because it hasn't been warranted from anybody because everybody's been super cool in the chat, man. So Uncle Joe, man, Wholesome is a friend of ours. He's a friend of the family. You know what I'm saying? So if you got, those nasty comments, man, we would prefer you to keep it to yourself, man. So if you can, it'll be really
each other with respect, guys.
That's what we ask. Greatly appreciated. But Wholesome was saying Parrish about basically our thank you Uncle Joe, man, appreciate that, man. About Parrish, about our chances of landing Parrish, because Wholesome's talking about the rumors surrounding Parrish, surrounding Flo, surrounding Worsham.
Well, like I said, Worsham, I expect that that's why that Manny sent out the tweet for the category 20 flag thing. I believe that's Worsham. So I'm sure Worsham, before he went public, called Manny and said, "Hey, I'm coming."
Yeah.
So that's who I think I worship. Flo is basically still in the same. I think we have a good shot. I mean, as good. We have a puncher's chance. I'll say like
Crystal
that.
ball says Flo's coming. We talking about Sammy? There ain't no crystal balls in for Flo.
Unless it changes and we've been on the air.
Don't play with me, Sammy. Hold on.
No problem.
Now you're gonna make me go ahead and check this right now.
Check to see.
Don't play with my emotions, Sammy. Let me see, man. Negative, man. I see no crystal balls for Justin Flo.
Yeah,
still 80% Clemson, 20% USC. That hasn't changed in quite some time though, even after the visits. But we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And as far as Parrish, I mean,
it actually is. Hold on. What?
Yeah, you're BSing.
What do you mean it actually is, Wholesome?
Oh, I think Wholesome was talking to somebody in the chat.
Oh.
Panko Vite.
You want to bet a Panko Vite, Junior? Nah, man. I hold Panko Vite too dearly to my heart to bet those on a situation like this.
Hey, I'd gladly pay you a Panko Vite if it was the other way around, though.
Yeah.
If it was that we got him.
Tabardine swears that he has a stepdaughter that's dating Flo, and she says that Flo is for sure coming.
I hope so.
247, you got to bet something with Tabardine.
Because Tabardine, I'm gonna believe what is the that's a old Christian truism. If you believe it, speak it into existence, and it will happen. Right? Wholesome had a quote like that on his on a tweet that he sent out.
Kilimanjaro, what's up, man? He says, "Yo, what's up, big dog?" Junior finally caught the live, man. Thank you for joining us, man. Welcome.
That's
big.
Brandon.
Whoa!
That is big. That is huge, Brandon. Thank you so much,
Andrew Ivins, especially Andrew Ivins. Okay.
Jay, Worsham, I know you weren't here earlier, but Worsham's time was 4.8. I do think his tape is faster than that. I've watched his tape quite a bit, and he is polished and a good route runner and great hands. But go ahead, read that out.
Really hey, Brandon, with a $5 donation, man. Thank you so much, Brandon. Breaking some news. Andrew Ivins just put in a crystal ball for Jaylen Knighton to Miami. And I'll tell you what, man, when it comes to Mr. Andrew Ivins, I don't know if I trust anybody over on 247 more than I trust Andrew Ivins.
Nope.
So that is big, my friend. Whoa.
That's right, Wholesome. That's right. I remember when you used it.
Wait. Thank you for breaking that for us.
Thank you, Brandon.
Man. We appreciate that, man.
Thank you for the donation. Yeah. Thomas says, there goes the Parrish talk. Yeah. Yeah, that's and I think we're done with running backs. So that's it.
Yeah.
It'll be Chaney and Knight. Oh my God, what a haul that is. Man, that's as good as Lingard and Harris. What a haul that is.
Oh, that'll be.
I wanted Knighton from the beginning, man.
I know, big dog.
I just thought he got scared away of the competition, and then that's why I cooled off on him.
Yeah, Brandon Ivins is the real deal, man. That's it's not the fact that we got a crystal ball for Jaylen Knighton. It's the fact that
it's Andrew Ivins.
Yeah, Ivins crystal balls for Jaylen Knighton.
Guys, for you guys to know, I correspond with him.
Hey, I just want you to know that.
And he's a quality dude. He's a quality dude. He's worth the subscription to 247. And I'll say David Lake and Christopher Stock do good work too. They're the ones that cover Miami, but Ivins is the dude.
Yeah, hey, that's big, man. Hey,
I think he's about 190. I want to say Nine's about 190, 195. But go ahead.
I said it earlier on in the live today, man. Like me personally, I didn't think we had a shot. Not that we didn't have a shot. I didn't think Knighton was gonna come here. Like I wasn't feeling very fuzzy about that, just because of how crowded it was and the uncertainty of DJ. Is he going to the NFL? Is he coming back? Because then, I mean, you're really gonna be looking behind the A ball. You're gonna be battling for some playing time with Don Chaney. You're gonna be looking behind DJ Dallas, Cam Harris, and if Lingard stays, maybe Lingard.
No, but and put an OG Kane's comment about you can thank Restrepo for that. OG, you're absolutely right. Restrepo's the one that should get the credit for that recruitment, but I should get the recruitment credit for Restrepo. But the thing with Knighton is his skill set is different than any running back that we have in that running room.
But that's I'm so excited for that, man.
That's what they sold him on. Is Jaylen, your skill set is different than Lingard's. It's different than Harris's. It's different than Chaney's. Those guys are power north. I mean, they make cuts and they got speed, but they are your bell cow type of running backs. Knighton can be a scat back, can be in the slot, can be taking those jet sweeps from the slot. Knighton can play in all different kind of ways because he is more your like your Swiss Army knife, your jack of all trades. You know, he can be one of those guys that type of skill set we really don't have. Because remember, even Cam Harris is up to like 200 pounds, 205.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Knighton is more of that Joseph. I'm not comparing him to Yearby. I think he's much more talented than Yearby, but he is that Yearby type, third down back. Play him in the slot some, run jet sweeps from the slot. You could even play him outside the numbers, even at wide receiver some. You can do all kinds of creative things with Jaylen Knighton and get him the ball 8, 10 times, 12 times a game in space. Oh, man. Jaylen Knighton could do some damage.
Yeah, man. That's big right there. That's big. Ivan's putting it in.
Man.
Yeah, man. I like that a lot.
That is awesome. That is awesome. My God. You imagine? So we get Jaylen Knighton and Daz Worsham on back-to-back days? Damn. Brandon, Lingard's a bigger dude.
Wait a second. Hold on. So you think that this flag has to do with Knighton or Worsham? Because the Worsham thing, they kind of see it coming. Like right. It's already pretty much known that Worsham's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, Ivans has a crystal ball and Worsham to Miami too.
Right.
Among others. A lot of people. I think most people have him come to Miami already.
So maybe Manny putting on the bat signal is not for Worsham.
It's for Knighton. And Knighton's ready to commit. Yeah, his family's been there a bunch. And they just visited last week.
Yeah. I know, Brandon. I'm just trying to stir up a little conspiracy here. Like maybe it was actually for
yeah, I think it's probably for Worsham because I'm sure Worsham probably
is for Worsham
is going to announce it tomorrow. So I'm sure he probably called Manny tonight to tell him, hey, I'm coming to Miami. Yeah. No, 247. The hip issue did affect his 40 but I've seen his tape and he's faster than 4.8, but he's not a ton faster than 4.8. He's probably a 4.6.
Yeah, 4.6.
So,
yeah, that's exciting news, man. That's exciting news. That's the first time I think that's like one of the biggest.
Never had the crystal ball.
Yeah, that's like one of the big breaks that we've had on during a live, man.
That is huge.
Even though I think we got, didn't we get like a decommit one time during one of our lives? I think so.
Yeah,
4.6 can turn to 4.4. Yeah, but it's not 4.6 turning to 4.4. It's like 4.8 turning to 4.4.
Yeah. Low. So I mean, he's high 4.6s. He's not low 4.6s. Because I've seen his tape. I'll give you an idea. Read Worsham's stats for this year in high school.
I'll have to go to.
Yeah. Read his stats for this season. Pull them up for me while I talk to him.
I got you.
Yeah, 2.47 at most. In his tape, I watch a ton of his tape, and at most he's a high 4.6. But you're probably right; he's probably closer to 4.7.
He's a player, though, man.
Not Knighton. Knighton got some wheels. Knighton's a 4.4 type of guy, and a legit 4.4, laser time 4.4.
Like a 33 vertical, like a low 4 shuttle. Why are you giving me these advertisements, man? Why is it doing that?
Oh, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I was just annoying. Okay. Stats. I don't see any stats on Worsham Big though.
You don't have. I can pull them up. I can pull them up here.
Mm. Oh, why did I do that? Hey, regardless, we can't give it away all now because we gotta do
Well,
our
my
our
point, no,
player
but my point on Worsham is that he's averaged some, I think it's less than 10 yards a catch this year.
Who's this?
Worsham
Oh,
for the season.
yeah, orange and green blood. That's true, man.
What's that?
That's true. He said he thinks that Worsham could get faster. That some kids are fast, but just don't know how to run a 40
Yeah,
correctly.
but that's true. That is true. But like I said, I've seen his tape, and his tape isn't anywhere near. Like I said, at the very best, he's a high 4.6s, and he's probably like more like a 4.7 type of guy. But now, mind you, he's a very good route runner. You know, all those other things
Oh yeah,
that he
no, for sure.
does. Yeah, there's a lot, and he has great hands.
That's not to like, man.
There's a lot to like in Worsham, and he seems like a great kid too. So it's not like I'm completely down on him as a young man, but it's just in South Florida we have fast receivers all over the place, and to take a guy whose speed isn't anywhere near top shelf, that's a bit of a concern.
Do you know? Brandon's asking. You know if Knighton is going to be an early enrollee if he does indeed choose Miami. Do you know that by any chance, Big Dog, or no?
I do not. I do not know it one way or another.
I neither. Haven't heard nothing about whether he plans on signing early or not. If Daz presents a Jarvis Landry, I'll take it.
No,
Yeah.
by the way, Daz's 40 time of 4.81 was taken in April of 2018.
That was a while ago.
So
it's a while ago.
A year and a half, yeah. I mean, listen, like I said,
Utah Kane says 2,400 yards and 28 touchdowns in his career in high school.
Yeah, but you're talking about his total career. I mean, look at his stats from this season.
I don't know
what he has per catch.
I don't know.
Worsham
is 6 foot, so Worsham had 3 or 4 300-yard receiving games this season, and his 40 time is from 10th grade. He is fast now.
That's not. Crowder. I've watched a ton of his tape.
I don't know.
There isn't anywhere near that speed.
It could be, maybe.
Hold on. I wanted to pull this up because this is the.
Yeah. He's watching the Georgia Tech game. It kills me that one of their 2 wins was against us.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man,
I know, and that's the one that really hurt us. And by the way, we are not, for those of you who didn't know, we are now officially eliminated from the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That would be clutch. What's up, Goosebump Chris? That would be clutch, Sammy. 54 catches, 427 yards.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you guys got that idea that he's had a couple 300-yard games where he has 54 catches for 427 yards. That is roughly about 8 yards a carry. Actually, it's a little below 8 yards.
King Millie, man. When I think. So
you guys tell me where you think he's fast if he's averaging less than 8 yards a catch in high school.
Yeah, I think Jaylen Harrell is indeed coming.
Yes. My understanding that we definitely lead for Jaylen Harrell.
Yeah, we definitely
lead. About Jaylen Harrell, the DB. Not Jaylen Harrell, the defensive end. Although I think we actually we're probably leading for him if we decide he's a take for us. But go ahead.
Yeah, true. But yeah, and also on 247, you know, they're also in agreement that Harrell is indeed coming over here. So yeah. I mean, I was feeling good about Harrell since the beginning because as soon as similar to Worsham, I believe Worsham officially visited Miami back in June, and I think 4 or 5 days later he decommitted from Bama, and that's why we were kind of like, oh wow. Usually when you see a visit and then a decommit right after, you're kind of like, oh snap. Well, with Harrell, we saw something similar. We saw Banda go out and visit Harrell, and a couple of days later, Harrell decommitted from FSU. So when you see things like that, you kind of get a good inkling that okay, something went very, very well with whatever that last visit was.
Correct.
So we saw with Worsham, we saw with
Which,
Harold.
by the way, is what it appears about Jaylen Knighton. Was that this last visit on Monday went really, really well.
Yeah, but we started hearing already whispers about that being a possibility after he went ahead and opened up his recruitment again, Jaylen Knighton.
Right. Yeah, when he decommitted. He wasn't necessarily. I'm talking about him possibly committing after the visit this weekend. But yeah, when he opened up his recruitment, the people were talking about maybe Ohio State, maybe Florida, maybe us.
Right.
So yeah. So it wasn't like Worsham, who it's been between Bama and us the whole time. I think at one point they did have them. They had Tennessee in the picture too, and I think when Tennessee's season went south, that was the end of that. So
but yeah, man.
You want to do some rapid fire?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do some rapid fire, man.
Russell, you guys are misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Worsham can't be a baller. Okay, can't be a very positive guy for our program. But the thing is, we have a lot of fast guys to pick from in South Florida, in Florida as a whole, but especially at Tri-County area. So that was my thing. That I think if it wasn't the fact that we're fighting Bama for Worsham, I wonder if the fans would be just as high on Worsham if he was committed to Tennessee.
Yeah. Hey, 247. I think it's looking east for that meteor shower tonight. It's looking up, and I think looking east if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm a big stargazer, man. I love astronomy and whatnot. So I'm definitely gonna be very interested in that. And I was actually looking into actually seeing that tonight. But yeah, Wholesome. We actually talked about Francois and whether or not me and the Big Dog will be a fan. Me and Big Dog are both in agreement, man. The only way I would like to see Francois in this class is if he's coming begging to Manny and his coaching staff to get back in the class, and he's committing on the spot and signing on the spot type of deal. Like I think that if the message that Manny has been trying to relay about how our standards for recruiting have changed, him going after Francois again is going to go basically completely against all the things that he's been saying leading up to this point when it comes to recruiting. So I think that would make no sense to to really extend your hand out to a guy that decommitted twice already.
If he wants back in this class, it has to be initiated completely by him, and he has to do some convincing that he's serious.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Kilimanjaro says with a donation, thank you so much, fam, for the donation. What do you guys think about 3-star offensive lineman Chris Washington? I think Kilimanjaro Washington has a huge upside.
Go check. We made a separate video on him, didn't we, Big Dog?
On Washington, yeah. In fact, we have a video on Washington.
Yeah. So we did make a separate a standalone video on Chris Washington, breaking down Chris Washington's film.
It's in our library, and we have the film clips and stuff there in our library. When we did a video breakdown of Chris Washington, like we do for all the commits.
Yeah.
And check that out. So, and you actually will see
it on our playlist 2020 recruiting class. You should be able to see it there, man. I like Chris Washington quite a bit, to be honest with you. I think he has a good motor. Good size,
6'7" and
good size. Yeah, he's a big dude, man. He's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Yeah, I do think he's a redshirt though. I don't think he's a plug and play guy.
No.
Wholesome Martinez. Yeah, it is a soft commit. Yeah, I mean, I know we're going to process out Antonio Smith, so it makes sense that we need somebody else on the interior. I mean, no, I like Martinez's tape. I do. I'm lukewarm on whether we do end up getting him. I know we didn't. St. Thomas, our track record has been hit or miss. Obviously, we have Avery Huff, but then you also remember what happened with the guy, a couple of the other guys that were playing there. I don't know. I mean, it definitely sounds like Martinez is interested. I just don't know. at the end of the day, the fact that we're so late to the party, if we're going to pull them away from LSU with the season that they're having, although the fact of staying close to home and playing at Miami and maybe getting some early playing time, hopefully that has some pull. But I would like to make a long story short, I would like to get him. I just not sure that he's gettable, but I would like Marlon Martinez.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Clavon says that supposedly Elijah's having a big game tonight.
Elijah Roberts? That doesn't surprise me at all. That young man's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
We thought Nelson was a redshirt too. That's true.
Yeah. But we didn't think Nelson was going to gain 40-something pounds.
Well, and the thing is, Brandon, and the big difference is we didn't have a Nelson there.
Exactly.
For Chris Washington, now he's going to have to battle against a much better Zion than what he was this year. And also we have Jalen Rivers coming in. So I do think, and Chris Washington's technique is raw. Sure. So, I mean, I do think he's a redshirt candidate. I think as a blocker, now mind you, Zion was 240, but he was, I think, farther along football-wise than Chris Washington is.
I mean, yeah, that's
thank you, Russell.
That's valid. That's valid, man. What I like about Chris Washington though is he finishes his blocks, man.
Put Utah Kings comment up there.
David Lakes, crystal ball for night also. Hey, maybe the bad signals for
Mr. Knighton.
Mr. Knighton, you never know, man. Patch and stay or go. Dan, it looks like patch and staying.
Yeah, and I'd like him to stay. I mean,
that brings experience. That brings
leadership. Absolutely. Now, if he gets that 6th year? I mean, I think because some people say, well, why doesn't he transfer someplace he's gonna get more playing time? Yeah, I don't think Patchen, not just being a legacy, but the fact that he will be used, he will play. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he wants to stay at Miami.
Holzman says, please go.
No, Holzman, I mean, if they use him like he should be used as a rotation guy that, comes in, when the is your 4th guy in your rotation, he's solid. So
that's a great question, man. Joe McDonald says over and under. I lost it. Let me put it up. Let me put it on the screen. He says over and under the amount of times the brawl is mentioned and or Anthony Reddick swinging the helmet is shown during the Miami FIU broadcast. I'd say 5.
I'd say 6 on the mention, and I'd say the helmet swing gets like 3 views. So, yeah, I mean, I get you, Wholesome, but I don't think he's going to take a ton of reps. I mean, I think just the fact that he's a leadership guy, he's a guy that can take the young guys under his wing. I think those are some positives of. Oh, am I frozen?
Nah, Big Dog, you're good. Okay.
Those are some positives that getting Patchen back. So, no, Baby Shaq, he's already benched Patchen. Yeah. Patchen hasn't started now. Rousseau started the last 5 games.
No, but I thought I could have swore Patchen did start against Louisville.
No, it was Rousseau starting and Garvin on the right end.
Are you sure?
Positive. Patchen did not start.
Well, he paid a lot more time than he should have. I know it was like senior day, quote unquote, but technically he wasn't even leaving.
Right, that's true.
So I don't know. Manny would want to start him over 15. Yeah, no. I could have swore he started the game against Louisville. I could have swore I saw him in that first series, man.
You think they put him in that first series and then pulled him back out?
I could have swore they did.
It could have been, but my understanding that they've been 5 games apiece starting thus far this year.
Pace-out Pat did not start. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think he did.
What do you guys think that flips their commit before signing day? You mean for the Canes, Clavon, or for somebody else?
Yeah, for us, Clavon, I think the only flip.
Oh, 15 came in like 3rd place. So Patchen did start Wholesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, but that was more like a senior day.
I know.
Yeah. But he shouldn't have gotten all the reps that he got the first 5 games because he was out repping Rousseau 2-1 back
Oh
then.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So, which he shouldn't. So,
Well, Clavon looks like Trayvon Riggins is gonna go to Nebraska most likely.
and Antonio Smith,
Antonio Smith.
I don't know where he's going, but he's also going to get processed out of this class. And then after that, I don't see any decommits really. I don't.
I wouldn't be. I don't know. I don't see anymore, man.
Willie Moyes has been. I mean, he's been with us a long time. 247, long time, and that's a guy that I really like, man. I really like Moyes. Two-way player in high school. Plays a ton of snaps, both ways as an offensive and defensive lineman, and I think that he can be tremendous on as a D tackle. On the road. Yeah, it's Aberdeen, exactly. Rousseau would have had a 20-sack season without a doubt.
He would have got the record already for sure.
Oh yeah.
Any plans? You and Wholesome collaborating again? Brian wants to know if you and Wholesome are collaborating again. He says, keep up the great work. Yeah, you guys were on for like 4 hours, man.
Yeah, in fact,
I didn't watch the whole 4 hours, but I did see a lot of it though. Yeah,
we had fun. We're gonna do a Cat 5 here coming up in a couple after the season is over, I imagine.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our next Cat 5, so we are gonna do a collab, Brian.
Yeah, well, we're also gonna be doing a post FIU show as well, Dan. So be on the lookout for that. Exactly when that's gonna be. I'm not.
Wholesome says he wants all three of us. So.
Oh yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down. I couldn't. I wasn't able to join you guys that night, but
Look at 247's comment.
24-hour show. Next big dog and Wholesome show. Yeah, I know it, man.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to start like wearing tuxedos, Wholesome, and do like the old Jerry Lewis telethon and stuff. Stay on TV for like 24 hours.
Yeah. What was I saying? I completely forgot what I was saying.
Okay, yeah. Frank says that he didn't start.
Oh, he didn't start. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, man. We'll let you guys know if you either through YouTube or through Twitter exactly when we're gonna do the post game, the post game at FIU. The Cat 5 will obviously you guys will know for sure. But oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do no 24-hour show. I'm gonna have to sleep.
He's gonna be awake for some 24-hour shows, but
yeah, I'm gonna be awake for exactly.
The big thing is with the Twins, man, you got to get them on the same sleeping pattern if possible.
That's gonna be the biggest battle.
That's gonna be big.
Yeah, if one's like is falling asleep and the other one's not asleep yet, I just like move the other one, like give them like a little pinch so they can wake up. And so they could be in sync with the other one and crying at the same time.
Yeah. Don't do that. It won't turn out well for you.
I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding, but I'm saying then you can have all of them crying.
Thanksgiving Thursday show, fellas. Ooh, but that would have to be an NFL show.
Yeah,
talk about
NFL games that day.
Yeah. Wholesome. Before we get out of here, he says, "Can y'all speak about the importance?"
Yeah, I had mentioned it before. Before you came on, because we talked about the 25 limit, how we can go over the 25 because of the amount of early enrollees that we have. We can use an early enrollee to take a number from the previous class, so we could actually probably go as high as 32. But I think what Manny's going to do, Wholesome, at least from what I've been able to gather, is I think he's going to make sure we got 25 signed, preferably early signing period, and then leave room for the big ones that haven't signed yet. So leave room for the Flows, the Darnell Washington. I can't say Jaylen Knighton because now apparently he will be a soon commit. I think that's what they're going to do. And that early enrollees, having so many early enrollees is really going to help us.
Yeah. Nah, they're not identical, Austin. They're fraternal. I'm having a boy and a girl, so they got their own separate, little houses in there. So no, they're not identical. Yeah, 247. Yeah, they're doing good, man. Thank you. He says it only gets easier. Dan says, "What? Which bowl and opponent do you want? I want Bama in the Orange Bowl. I already got teased with that one of that prediction on Twitter. That I haven't been able to take my mind off of that. I would rather have a Georgia, not a Georgia, a Florida. Don't get me wrong, but I just want a good Power 5 opponent.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't
Yeah,
care what bowl it is. I don't care.
This. If I have to pick them in order, here's what I would pick. I would pick Florida, Texas, USC, Alabama in that order.
Wholesome, I ain't scared, man. I want Bama.
Bring it on.
I know you like Bama, Wholesome.
Bama's not going to be my favorite now, but not for that reason. The reason Bama wouldn't be a favorite is that if we beat them, then but Tua was hurt, and then they beat us. Oh, see, they beat you even without Tua.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So for street cred, I don't like Bama anymore without Tua. So I'd rather get Florida, Texas, or USC. My top three.
I don't know. Why do you think they'll be unmotivated, Brett? If anything, that'll be a ticked off Alabama team if they're not in the college football playoffs. So I don't see them.
No, did he say because like Georgia, like what happened with Georgia last year?
Yeah, but I don't think
they got destroyed.
Yeah, but I don't see them being. I don't know. I don't see them being unmotivated.
Yeah, it might be.
I don't think Saban is gonna.
Saban, they'll piss. He'll be ticked off.
Yeah, they got Saban. I don't see an unmotivated Bama team, but.
And they were asking about the score for. I'm on a good streak here on scores and spreads.
Wholesome, I disagree, man. I think our offensive line could have some trouble, but I don't think our defensive line will get dominated at all. At all, I don't think our defense.
I think he's talking about just the offensive line. Yeah, offensive line was probably struggle.
He said offensive line and D line would be dominated.
No, I don't think they'll dominate our D line.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I think our D line can.
Whoever Bandy covering is gonna have like 3 TDs. Well, that'll be Judy most likely. Ooh, that would be ugly. Judy, ain't nobody scared here, man. We'll beat Bama. All right.
No, I just don't. We have no. Bama is nothing for us. Because if we beat them, the excuse will be they didn't have Tua and they were all unmotivated because of not making the playoff. Yeah, that's true. And then they beat us, it'll be see, they beat you even without Tua, and even though they weren't even motivated. So it's a lose for us.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm good with that. With we can wait on Bama, but yeah, I'd rather have Florida, Texas, or USC anyway.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't want to play a boring.
Score.
Oh yeah, that's right. Before we get out of here,
just to point out, I'm on a hot streak because I had us beating FSU by 18, we beat them by 17, and I had us beating Louisville by 20. I had us by 24, and we beat them by 25. So, while I'm on a streak by missing by a point, I'm going to go
48-10 for me.
Well, I'm going 48. I'm going 48 too.
I'll go to the first. No, you can't do it.
I'll go 44-6.
Okay, I like that. I like your prediction more.
Yeah.
Hey man, with that being said, man, look, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. Man, thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday. We're gonna keep you guys updated because I know next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we might have to change around our schedule on when exactly it is that we're gonna be going live. So we will let you guys know regardless. You'll see it on our feed. I'll go ahead and send out a message or whatever, letting everybody know, man, what time we're gonna be on. If you follow us on Twitter, it'll be on there as well, man. So stay tuned. And stay tuned also for the FIU post game, man. We're going to also do one of those. If you guys are new here, once again, man, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime me and the big dog do upload a video. Looks like we're going to have a couple more videos coming in soon, all right, with Daz Worsham. We're going to do our player breakdown with footage from Daz Worsham, breaking down his plays, breaking down what he could bring to the table, and hopefully Jaylen Knighton. It looks like we were going to have a player breakdown of Jaylen Knighton as well. So be on the lookout for those, man. Every time a player does commit to the University of Miami for the 2020 class, we do a separate video on just them, breaking them down with video, their plays and whatnot, and their stats and their measurables and what we can expect to see from them with the Miami Hurricanes. So be on the lookout for that, man. If you guys are watching us on Facebook, please check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Before you guys leave, man, hit that like button. It'll help more people to see the video, for us to get more subscribers, man. We're close to 2,000. Just over a little over 100 subscribers. I think we need to get over to get to
2K.
So yeah, man, help us out about getting there, man. Share this video, spread the word. Join the Big Dog family. You guys are great, man. So
absolutely. The a couple of guys said, why don't we do a Wednesday night show next week?
Yeah, but that's Mark Rogers, isn't it?
No, Holson will say Mark Rogers isn't doing it with Cam anymore.
Oh, he's not?
Nope.
Oh, so the Wednesday night might be an option then.
Yeah. Maybe we could do Wednesday night for next week.
Okay.
I mean, we could just do it for next week. We don't have to switch nights, but
yeah, we'll see what's up.
Thank you guys
man. Thank you so much, man. Hey, as always,
it's all about this you. Go Canes.
Have a good night, man.
Good night, guys.
Go Canes.